Why is K-pop Demon Hunters so popular? Is it just the good music, sleek animation, and great plot? Or is there more to it than you think? Why the hell am I holding a banana? Hello my sweet berries, welcome back to the channel, and to all new viewers, hi, I'm Belle and I'm a messer from hell. Today we're going to be talking about K-pop Demon Hunters, the hit Netflix film. Almost said show there because it deserves one. And yeah, let's get to it. So, at first glance, K-pop Demon Hunters, it looks like exactly what it is. You know, demon slaying idols with killer choreography, razor sharp eyeliner. And sure, the soundtrack is addictive. The action is beautifully choreographed, the colours are loud, the world building is slick and sick, and it's genuinely a fun ride, a fun watch, and just a fun experience, not only just between you and the film, but in the fandom as well. But here's the thing, that's not why people are connecting to it so deeply. Why are you so into it, but not just into it as you would any other thing? That's not what's making people cry after the final scene or write personal essays about the stylized animated film. There's a deeper connection that some of you may not even realize yourselves. Take Rumi, for example. Her demon marks are physical manifestations of possession, of that voice in her head telling her she's a mistake, that she wasn't meant to be what she is, and it takes over everything she is. But they're also deeply symbolic. They aren't just magical scars. They look like self-inflicted wounds. Her fear of letting the marks show, her shame, her isolation, her almost mechanical way of going through rehearsals while clearly on the verge of breaking. It's not just fantasy, it's real life for a lot of people dealing with self-harm or suicidal ideation. Rumi's character, in many ways, is a portrait of someone trying to keep functioning while something internal is tearing her apart. And that one quiet scene, you know, the one where she looks at herself in the mirror and almost doesn't recognize who she is anymore, that hits harder than any fight scene. Though arguably the scene on the top of the train, where she is just mechanically fighting the demons in front of her and singing the lyrics to herself, saying, "A demon with no feelings don't deserve to live, it's so obvious. I'ma gear up," and she doesn't actually gear up because she's so within herself. She's talking to herself and telling herself she's the demon that she's trying to kill. She's almost fighting it so mechanically because it's like the demons in front of her are her, again, looking through a mirror and trying to think of them as herself. So the moment it actually kind of fights back, it's like it breaks her trance, her deep emotional breakdown that she was having with herself. And that's probably why when Mira and Zoey get off the train with her and they're so confused by what they just witnessed, is why she had the complete opposite reaction to what she did originally. In the beginning it was kind of anger, like protecting herself. But when something she sees as almost herself attacking her makes her realize that she doesn't have that little bit of control she had left over the marks. Then there's Mira, who I consider to be the group's unofficial leader. Let me explain why I say that. Because of course Rumi is the center, the face of the group, but Mira, to me, is the glue that is holding it all together. On the surface, her struggle is about being a protector, having to watch over her members, taking care of Zoey and Rumi, and we see her throughout. Not only does she go and talk to Rumi, she also is always watching her back when she's distracted about trying to find out if what Ginu said was true about demons and them being controlled. So she's always there, watching over them, keeping them safe. Yet her emotional struggle is extremely overlooked. Of course, there are people, there's the fandom, but at the end of the day, we see so much more of Zoey and Rumi's suffering that we sometimes forget that Mira is just as broken. She's just the best at hiding it. She takes it out through anger, through what can be considered a difficult character. But as she says in Golden, it's how she's getting paid now. Her character, she finally earned the acceptance of people around her. But in a way, she constantly feels, as is revealed with the voices in her head when Grima starts taking over her, that she's just kind of putting up a facade, trying to convince herself as well. Because if your own blood-related family, if your own loved ones are not accepting you, who's to say that the family you found is going to stick around? And Zoey, she's the youngest, the comic relief and the firecracker, but even she isn't spared from emotional struggle. She has the living two lives issue, one on stage, one at home, but also could easily be not only implied that she lived two lives in two different countries, but that was the result of a child of divorce, something that a lot of the audience can probably relate to. She's caught between two emotional worlds as well, and neither fully understands the other. She's always having to switch who she is depending on who's watching, and that's not just performance anxiety, that's identity whiplash. What K-pop Demon Hunters does so well is that it doesn't just use metaphor for the sake of fantasy. It uses allegory as a way to tell stories we don't always have the words for. Myself included, depression, anxiety, PTSD, all of this feels like a true representation of what I go through every day. But there are other things. There's rejection, there's identity fragmentation, self-worth issues. Such clear and raw topics that manage to be snuck into a flashy high-stakes setting, and it lets the audience feel seen. Because here's the truth, something that I will personally always go by, and you feel free to quote this from me. This film makes people feel seen, and it is something that no amount of budget could ever replicate. Money is never a substitute for raw emotions and audience connection. That's why people are talking about this movie weeks after watching it. That's why it matters. To me, this is probably what should finally kickstart Disney into bringing back the emotional touches and the similarities to real life as almost not just the same two tropes and classifying it as, oh, it's an escape for reality, because the day and age we live in is different. We as people have evolved, but we're also suffering for different reasons. Sometimes people don't just prefer having this escape from reality, but having that example of characters going through their same struggle and being able to move past it. Those struggles being able to be surpassed in a way that doesn't undermine them is what people these days need. At the end of the day, the entertainment industry is as old as time. Everyone has always wanted entertainment, everyone has always wanted something to do, something to look forward to. But these days, with everything feeling so scripted, there is a beauty in something so raw and passionate that you can genuinely connect with and make you as an audience member feel seen. Mira gets told, "You don't deserve a family." Or when Zoey gets told, "You're too much, but not enough." Those words, how many times would someone in their day-to-day lives have felt that way but never been able to put it into words? That, plus the beautiful characters that make us realize that anyone who struggles doesn't necessarily have to have this bad character, or anyone who has anger management like Mira, again, isn't just a bad person because of it. They might have underlying issues, and this isn't like a excusing a bully situation that a lot of films do, where they're going through something, so that automatically removes all their bad. Let's take Gino in this example. If the theory about Grima twisting his memories and using them against him isn't true, and he really did just abandon his family flat out, his guilt sure won't repair anything, but he's trying to change, and nobody said that he's forgiven. Not once did Rumi say, "I forgive you," because it's not her place to do that, because it's not her that was hurt. But she's teaching him how to heal and how to move past it. And his redemption isn't just it removes all his bad deeds. It's simply showing that someone who's done something bad isn't necessarily a bad person because of it. So was it just about demons and dance breaks? Not even close. Let me know in the comments which character hit you the hardest. I hope this video helped you see the film in a new light. Goodbye! I hope you had as much fun as me today. Same time tomorrow. If you enjoyed, you might also like these.